The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
I think depending on how you look at everything depends on if you see it as toxic or not.
Real Doctor Who fans
I mean, I think there's a balanced criticism that you can talk about.
with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Alhambra Podcast, a podcast dedicated to discussing Big Finish, complaining about Big Finish, Doctor Who, complaining about Doctor Who, and a whole bunch of other things that we like and complain about. Joining me across the pond is...
Liam, hello?
Hello. I don't know about where you are, but I do. One of my favorite parts about being a fan, and when you were telling me what Legion said that happened because I was, editing the podcast, and how the Big Finish listeners group has basically frozen all comments regarding complaints about the website or whatever.
Anything.
Yeah.
Or just any.
Well,
just
anything
not
too.
even that, just anything.
Yeah. But one of the things that I like about fandoms is complaining. And I've re-listened to a couple of our older episodes where we were talking about the, toxic fandom. And I think I think that's a fine line to, walk regarding toxicity, just merely because I think depending on how you look at everything depends on if you see it as toxic or not,
I mean, I think there's a balanced criticism that you can talk about, but when it's just like your neurotic, your Bolstrek,
Well,
that kind of stuff.
but I
That's
mean,
just like it's just
here's the
moaning at
thing
everything.
about it. Think about this. When we, and this is back when this is when we were having our discussions about the Jodie era, the pre-Jodie era. We were complaining about the toxicity about the whole thing, and then as the show went along, we were complaining. So the question is are we toxic too?
No, because the issue for us was never the fact that it was a woman or whatever. It was more down to the directional choices that they took and the way they were writing both the Doctor and the companions. So no, that wasn't. I don't think that was toxic because it was raising a valid argument.
But again, just to play devil's advocate, all the Jodie fans see it as toxic. So I think kind of toxicity is in the eye of the beholder.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, like, they would, they might, but I can guarantee that 90% of those fans who are Jodie fans have not seen the new, even the Doctors before that, and or mostly none of the classic series. All right, you're going to get the odd exception who are like, oh yeah, I really like Jodie and I really liked her Doctor. I mean, you're always going to get odd exceptions, and that's fine. But I think for the most part, those fans who go, oh, you're toxic, were those fans who had never watched anything else, just been exposed to her era, and therefore had no other reference point to go off of. And were perhaps looking at it in the sense of, oh, well, this is my first Doctor, so this is what got me into Doctor Who, so, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that boils down to.
But here's the other devil's advocate for that whole thing, because you could also say the same thing for Matt Smith, because his era brought in a huge, probably the largest audience. Jodie's era brought in a massive audience because I think the nuance, the different thing. Ncuti's era has not brought in a large audience. So you have to wonder, is it toxic? Is people just not liking it for certain reasons? Is it not good?
I think the reason that Ncuti's perhaps hasn't brought in as obvious of a bigger audience, as big a audience as perhaps it has, is because of the decisions that Disney have made in conjunction with the BBC to when they aired this and how they marketed it. So with BBC iPlayer is like the on demand service wherever, dropped episodes at midnight.
But
So, but before then streaming it on actual TV the next day. So a lot of people had already watched it by that point potentially, or watched it
But-
in the morning, or watched it before they decided to stream it in the evening. So
yeah,
I think
well, I'm not even, because we've talked about live streaming number. Like you
Mhm.
have been the father of, the viewing figures of, day of release have not been important. And it's only until now that, as the show is kind of, I think personally, struggling with and finding an audience.
It's
Personally,
weird
that is my
because
opinion.
it might be struggling. It might be struggling overseas a little bit. It might be struggling a little bit in America, but reports suggest that Doctor Who is still one of the biggest BBC shows in regards to making the money this year, because they mentioned it in their yearly report or something, which was quite interesting. So you have that, and then you have people going, "Oh, not Screen Rant. Who was it?
Was it Variety? There was an article that basically
Not
said that
Variety.
Disney's about ready to pull the plug.
Yeah,
but,
no, it wasn't Variety. It was
but there was multiple articles regarding that.
yeah, there was a big one though that was
Yeah,
got referenced to
I know the
loads.
one you're talking about, but I can't think of what it was.
Anyway, it was an article that basically, as you said, was saying that Disney were ready to pull the plug, and that it hadn't done as well as they'd expected, and yada yada. So there's really conflicting reports. You get this one news outlet, I suppose you call it, who's reporting that Doctor Who is not doing very well, and then you get the BBC in their yearly report saying, "Yeah, this is massive. Doctor Who's doing really well. We're really proud of it," etc. And at this point, I'm more apt to believe the BBC, because why would they lie about their yearly report?
But here's the reason why I think that they're lying about their yearly report is that Doctor Who TV.uk has always been given the viewing figures, and
What do you mean?
they are fans. The Doctor Who TV.uk website is a fan-run website, and the BBC has always given them the viewing figures for day of viewing, the 7-day consolidated, the 7-day plus whatever, and the audience appreciation. And they actually came out with an article saying, we're not trying to cover up anything. The BBC is massively delaying giving us numbers to the point where they almost don't want to. And currently, this is the first year that there is no audience appreciation index numbers at all that is being shared with the public. The BBC is keeping it.
Is that because though with the deal with Disney, and Disney's kind of mum's the word in regards viewing figures
could be
and how they do things, and I think
according
it might
to
have
the
more to do with that.
According to the article, the only reason why that they have not done it is because they didn't want to give it to the public. It is only for BBC eyes only, according to the article from DoctorWhoTV.uk.
Interesting.
So
I don't know. Again, Doctor Who TV, I find them a bit kind of.
Well, they're a fan website. They're not a antagonistic website, but I have noticed at times that they have been, they'll do contradictory articles from time to time.
That's what I mean. They can be quite clickbaity, and they don't seem to be. They don't seem to be overly balanced in that regard.
But the only reason why I would put any stock into what they say is, if they were clickbaity, don't you think BBC would not give them the figures at all? If they
I mean,
were
they've got to
like
give the.
Bullstrex or
I
something like
mean,
that.
I mean, they've got to give the figures to someone, I suppose. So I don't know. I mean, I'd actually be more intrigued to know how they got that gig in the first place. And how they
they've
were
been
the ones.
They've been doing it for 20 years. That'd be an interesting, research to figure out how they got that connection and have been having that connection for 20 years. Like, I think that is a really interesting question to dive into and possibly look at. Yeah.
But I don't know. So it's quite conflicting. I mean, I guess the only thing I would say we'll just have to wait and see. See whether season 3 gets commissioned or not. I mean, if it does, then we know it's fine.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, well, clearly there was stuff going on behind the scenes that we weren't aware of. But until we get more concrete information one way or the other, we can't really say one way or the other. So
Yep. Nope. But
Yeah.
I do like speculating and discussing it, though, because it's speculating and discussing it's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that I've not talked to you about and that was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con is the Doctor Who spin-off series, The War Between the Land and the Sea. What is your thoughts about this spin-off series?
I mean, as a limited series, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm kind of glad it's limited. I'm glad that it isn't going to be seasons and seasons of stuff. It's just going to be another slice of the Whoniverse. People are thinking that it might tie into 73 yards, so it might be a kind of parallel timeline thing that actually never happens as a result of obviously the season 1 stuff. So it could be like it could be like a parallel thing that was happening during 73 yards, which I think could be quite interesting. So yeah, I guess we'll see.
The one thing that I don't like that because I did listen to the San Diego Comic-Con panel, and when Russell was talking about it, the one line that I didn't like that he said is it's a huge, muscular, thrilling drama. Like, if a war between the land and the sea, if with the action word war, I don't think I'd want it to be a drama. I think I'd want it to be an action sci-fi series. If we're just going to be, Star Wars Episode 1, having, the High Council just sit and talk with each other about politics or whatnot.
No, I don't think it's going to be that. I mean, Band of Brothers is a drama. The Pacific is a drama, but it's still got action and, it's still about war. So
one of these days I'm going to have to watch both of those.
Oh, dude.
I've owned them for years.
Seriously.
In a
Band of Brothers
DVD tin, yeah.
And you need to pick up Masters of the Air as well. Because that's also,
is that a new one?
Yes, it's done by I think it's done by Tom Hanks as well.
Interesting.
And they've just released one. I'm not too sure where it's been released, but it's called A Last Light, and it's a limited series, and it chronicles the woman who looked after Anne Frank and her family initially, and helped hide them from the Nazis. So yeah, that looks quite interesting.
Interesting. All right. So now we will probably continue to complain at one point in time about the Big Finish app and website. But right now we're going to just talk about Big Finish because there's been a lot of news that both you and I, being huge Big Finish fans, have not talked about. And the first thing that you have, I don't even think I saw you post anything on the audio group about this, but what are your thoughts as Big Finish announced that the 13th Doctor adventures will continue, featuring Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor and Mandeep Gill as Yasmin Khan? What are your thoughts?
I think they did the right choice and chose Yaz, not and chose Mandeep, not Tosin Cole, because Yeesh.
If he was wooden on screen, man, can you imagine what he'd be like in a sound booth?
Oh God. It's like, he's standing in for Nick Briggs doing the Cyberman impression.
It's like, no, he's not cyberized. That's just his acting.
Yeah. No, I think they went with the right choice of Mandeep. I mean, I still feel that she was miscast. I still think Mandeep would have made a better Doctor than Jodie. I think Jodie honestly should have been the companion. I think she had, if you look back at interviews and since, she was the one that's always had the enthusiasm for the role and of being in Doctor Who. I think Jodie has come around to the idea now, but it was clear that initially she was just really not sure. But I still think, that she was miscast, and I think it should have been reversed. And I think it would have been interesting, actually, to have an Asian Doctor play off of an Asian Master. I think that would have been very interesting. My thoughts are that they must have some faith in it because they've got, 12-hour-long releases announced?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you've got 12
Almost
hours.
A monthly adventure. Mm-hmm.
So you've got 12. Well, it is that they've released, or they're going to release.
Once a month from
12.
July 2025.
Yeah, onwards. So you've got literally 12 hours. So longer than the first series.
Mm-hmm.
Or even the second series, obviously, because I guess this will take place in the second series. So you've got longer on audio than the TV series to expand upon, both of them, and actually give them personality and give them, the Doctor especially, give her a defined incarnation, give her a defined moral bloody compass, one way or the other.
Well, I mean, but here's the hard part about doing all of that, though. Sorry for interrupting, but I think Chibnall totally did a massive disservice to Jodie's 13th Doctor era completely. He pigeonholed so many things, yet you can have these two go on adventures without Graham, also without, what is it? What was John Bishop's character? Dan. I think you can have these two go on adventures without those guys. But the problem is, and bringing back to the moral compass, is you have that Centauran episode where Jodie is, the Centaurans mow so many people down. Then that one guy kills one Centauran and she massively lectures them. Then a couple episodes later, she murders them all. Like, I think...
I know.
Yeah. Oh, and the Daleks and the Cybermen, yeah.
I mean, there is that. But I mean, I'd like to think that they would try and come up with a way of explaining that. Maybe within the audio series. I don't know. Put her, put her into some really, really tricky moral, tricky moral
dilemmas,
tricky morally kind of grey situations, which then could explain why she finally loses it in those episodes, because she's, just been put under so much stress and whatever, and she just can't deal with it, which fine. I mean,
I agree.
Because something big has got to happen with her incarnation, because there's still to this day, there's just no clear-cut personality to her. So
no, and I think the hard part about the entirety of this is, not the hard part. The best part about this whole thing is that Big Finish can take plot holes left behind, and you know what? For at least for the 13th Doctor, Big Finish can come to the rescue and basically save her and Chibnall's era, possibly. I think it's going to be a really hard stretch to, actually save her era, but to give it some legitimacy. And that's where I personally find that I find as I've been like rethinking certain things, like we talked about in the podcast about just having a hard time with not only the timeless child, but the bi-regeneration, and there's no stakes and nothing really matters or whatever. I personally find probably from season 12 onward to the current season, I find whatever Big Finish does more canon than actually 12 and onward.
I mean, it's obviously going to take place during 12, so
yeah. But I mean, I personally feel with the timeless child, well, wouldn't it take place in between? No, it wouldn't.
No.
Anyway, yeah, I just feel as though Chibnall has done a massive disservice. I think RTD Part 2 has done a massive disservice to the show's canon and continuity. And I feel as though Big Finish is more canon than what we currently have. Unless RTD Part 2 can change things during season 2.
I mean, the good thing is at least with Big Finish now delving into the Jodie era and having access to the Fugitive Doctor and also the Sacha Dhawan Master, we might get answers to why the hell Gallifrey is gone again, what the Fugitive Doctor is, what her personality is, what her motives are, where she comes in the timeline, and even potentially redeeming the Timeless Child stuff.
And I agree with that, but there's another thing that RTD said at San Diego Comic-Con that really rubbed me the wrong way. And that was, with the, season 1, villain of Sutek, like there was no, like he's been stewing away for years. Meanwhile, in the Fourth Doctor adventures, we had not a Fourth Doctor, it was a Seventh Doctor adventures. We had Sutek return in a box set series. No reference of that. Like this plan, was not hatched. I understand it. There's probably some gray things, but it's almost like RTD didn't even know it existed. However, somebody asked him a question at San Diego Comic-Con, and he just said, well, I'm not sure about that, but you know what? I bet you Big Finish will take care of that. They almost see Big Finish as, we're not going to be worried about canon continuity. That's your gig.
That's
We're just going to have...
Yeah, that's your job to, we'll write stories and you come up with the reasons behind the inconsistencies and sort our mess out. Yeah. Kind of thing. Which is a shame. Like I said, I still think they should still have a closer relationship than they do with the BBC and Doctor Who. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Scott Hancock is there doing the script editing and stuff, but I would have liked to have seen a more nuanced and more referenced story back to Big Finish, or at least mention things more than was. So. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's just wishful thinking, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, well, the Big Finish just seem to be the people that deal with the continuity errors and fix them. It's weird because I like Big Finish, but since this whole new website thing, I'm a little bit slightly disillusioned with them. To a degree, just because of how this has been dealt with, and the fact that the response, that I got and other customers have got, in regards the accessibility of the website and the layout and all this, and we've just been, oh, you've got to wait, we'll fix it in time. Yeah, how long? Like, you can't even give us a time frame. I do feel really shortchanged in that sense. And
the big question is was this a rush thing? Like, did they have to change the website? like by a certain day? Did
Dunno.
somebody did we not know? And this is just like,
Because
one of
what
those. Yeah.
because what all started it all off, and I was like, something's going on here, was a few weeks, or maybe I want to say about 2 months before the website change, the SSL certificates ran out, right?
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, why have they run out? Why have they not renewed them? This is weird. And usually when that happens, you know that a website is either going to be shut down or losing the domain name or something. And I was like, why have they not renewed these? And
That's right.
it did kind of look a bit weird. So I did wonder then, but I just kind of dismissed it and thought, maybe it's just someone who's just forgotten to update them. They'll get round to it, and they never did, and that's why, because they're updating the website. So I feel they could have told us then when that happened. They should have said to us, "Look, we're going to regenerate the website." Because they had plenty of time to tell us at that point. And they didn't. So I do feel pretty shortchanged that we've just been left to hang and, oh, yeah, we'll fix it. And we might not instate all the features, it will just come as they come, and they'll be added in the future. I think that's what annoys me. I feel a little bit annoyed at, because a bit of being a loyal customer with them since the early 2000s. I do feel a little bit, so what does the loyalty mean then? And like I said to you a couple of days ago, they had the cheek to have all this mess going on and still put up new pre-orders, while the website was clearly not in a state to accept new pre-orders, and just expecting people to buy stuff.
The first, again, when I initially got locked out of my account on July 29th, I went to Twitter to see what's going on. At that time, they didn't even say there was a problem with the website. It wasn't until, sorry, I think I said January.
It was July.
I meant July. Anyway.
No, you said July.
It took them to July 30th, which I believe the new website was supposed to be instigated or installed on July 31st. July 30th, they still, for part of the day, they were, that's when I found out about that Vamp PD series, was they had a hot link for you to pre-order it. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I click this link, perhaps I will be able to get to a working website. Yeah, they were still trying to, lack of a better word, pimp their new wares to the crowd, their audience, while their website was completely down. It took for them to late 30th of July to the 31st to admit that there was a problem.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's just been the lack of radio silence, and apparently, according to Legion, the staff are not very happy at Big Finish because they've been forced to work with the website that is just an absolute pile. So they're not happy that they've been forced to work with, a website that shouldn't have gone live in the first place. So it's just been a complete clusterfuck. And a lot of people, I believe, myself included, and I think maybe you as well, have lost a bit of trust, really, in them. And I've complained and just not heard anything back. And it's just, and again, that massive gap of just radio silence, of just nothing coming back, not even an acknowledgement. That's what I think is a bit shitty, really. Is we're the ones that are keeping the website and you guys going, and you can't even acknowledge us as a fan base fully.
Yeah. So, all right. So yesterday, Big Finish had a 4-part thread revolving around the new app, and I think kind of diet light their website. I mean, the frustrating thing, and we message each other about this, but they've been putting a lot of their elbow grease into the app, but the website is a mess.
It's horrific, isn't it?
And so this is what happened yesterday on the 5th of August. It says a new version of the Big Finish app has been released, version 1.0.3. Please update via Google Play and Apple Store, blah, blah, blah. Note this app site. I had never read that part. Note the app syncs with the website. All right. So then thread 2, it says, if you have not been able to successfully log into the new website, please follow these instructions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thread 3, all historically purchased titles are now available within the app. All titles can now be ordered by date of purchase. No, they can't.
Yep.
No,
they can't.
I know my first Big Finish purchase. It was, I bought them on Amazon physically, but then my first Big Finish purchase was your favorite and mine, Demons of Red Lodge, and other stories. I know for a fact that is seared into my head that is my first purchase. If I were to sort from my purchases, it doesn't matter if I put descending or ascending. It puts them in the same order. And it's so weird because here's the order and it makes absolutely no sense. So, Drama Showcase, My Mother Was an Alien, that audiobook. Confessions of Dorian Gray, that didn't even come out for years before, I had my first subscription.
The first Confessions of Dorian Gray came out in about 2012, I believe.
But still, okay, Mission to Magnus. Okay, that came out in 2009. I didn't buy it in 2010, 11. That's when I first started buying Big Finish. Then get this, Cybermen, Telos. Okay, you'd think that I would have bought all of them all together, and I did.
Yeah.
According to this, the next thing I purchased was Dalek Empire, Dalek War Chapter 3.
Okay.
If this is in orders, if this is actually filtered the way Twitter says from Big Finish, like I am just all over the place. Like I'm a schizophrenic Big Finish purchaser. I mean, that's the only thing that I can do.
It's like, dude.
Anyway,
lay off the acid, right? I mean, because
I know, right?
Wow.
So it says the website purchase library has not been updated to correctly display the app purchase library. We're still working to fix this issue. So somebody posted to them, I updated the app and my library is totally empty. And they just said, please email us with details. That should not be happening. Somebody else says, I've gone from 76 missing titles to 1,431 missing titles since the update. I mean, it's in this thread, it is, loss after loss. Like, and after a while, they stopped responding to people. People still have concerns, but
they just ignored. That's what I mean. We're just being ignored by the volume, just because of the volume of, hey guys, you fucked up. Like, yeah, you fucked up, and you're still fucking up. And it's, like I said on one of the comments on Facebook on the audio group, I don't think this is going to be resolved for months. I really don't. I really, really don't. Like, and in all this time, it's just going to hurt the business. I really, really, really think it is going to hurt the business massively.
Oh, it is, because, each one of their some of their posts are getting ratioed where, their comments are exceeding the numbers of likes that people are, hearting on Twitter. So, I mean, they're getting ratioed by, hey, look, we're doing a good thing. And everybody's coming back with, it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To talk about some positive Big Finish stuff, though, let's see, let me pull this up. So we talked about the 13th Doctor. Let's talk about what's some of the news that have come out this year, and maybe just some thoughts that you've had, because it's been a while. Let's see. The first thing I want to ask you about is...
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bundles going away. What are your thoughts on them scrapping bundles?
I actually like that.
And this so-called. Oh, you can save money by multi-buying stuff. No, you can't in my case, because I've already bought everything. So if you're going to release one thing at once, then I'm not going to save money, because you're not going to release bundles. Therefore, we're not going to save money. Like, perfect example, Van PD, right? They dropped the pre-order as a bundle before the new website went live. I purchased it, and then when the new website went up, you couldn't buy the bundle anymore.
You had to buy them individually?
I think you have to buy them individually. And they've gone, and individually, I think now, they've increased by £4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Each episode or each...
No, together. So together. So basically, if you have to buy both of them.
Oh,
and
I know what they did. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know what they did.
What's that?
All right. So let me see if I can find, let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm liking that this, the website is responding just a tad bit quicker than it had the previous day. So, I can't, is it under news? Let me, everything used to be easily found. Now I can't find anything. Would it be events? Okay, let me see. Nope. Events, that's Big Finish Day. Oh, could you imagine if Big Finish Day came after this update? Oh, it is a good thing that Anyway, I cannot find for the life of me, but I think I know what they did. So yeah, they did increase the price on all of it. However, if memory serves me right, I'm going to try to... I can't find the exact link, because of course you can't find anything on this website, because it is currently just a piece of garbage. But I do remember a couple of days ago looking at it, and because unlike you, I don't buy everything. Now, I did buy and pre-order a bunch of stuff for 2025, and I kind of wish, and I kind of glad I had, but I'm also sad that I didn't wait, or not knowing about this bundle thing, because I think here's what happened with the Vamp PD is their bundle package is, what is it? If you buy 3 or more, you'll save, I want to say 10%. If you buy 5 or more, you'll save 12%. And if you buy 10 pre-order stuff or more, you'll save, I want to say 14%. So I think what they did is they took off the savings that they already calculated into the bundle stuff, and basically are trying to get people to get the minimum maximum of like 3 or 4. I wish I could find the article in which it said it, but yeah, as currently constituted,
it's under the guide, like multi-saving thing.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hang on, let
But I
me.
can't even find
Hang on.
that.
I know where. Hang on, let me. It's under.
Oh, there we are. I found it. Okay. All right. So now I can do that. So what they did, so for pre-orders and general releases, it is buy 2 or more bundles or not bundles, but
Releases.
things and save 10%. Buy 4 or more, save 12%. Buy 10 or more, save 17%.
That's never going to happen. I'm never going to buy 10 releases because you're never going to release 10 releases at once on pre-order.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they continue with kind of like what they did with the 2025 releases. If, when it comes time for 2026, are they just going to announce all of them and allow you to do it? Or are they going to have
that's going to be a
pre-bundled?
pain in the ass to
Yeah.
add all those to the basket. Like, just give me a button to click and just buy all of it at once.
Yeah.
Nah, come on, guys. Jesus.
I just want to check on with what you've listened to so far in 2024. I have not had much time. I listened to the first Centaurans versus the Rootons, the Battle of Giants Causeway. I did
that. I did those. They were really good, actually. Really, really good miniseries. Glad we finally got some actual backstory to that conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that was a really, really good miniseries. What else have I listened to?
Let's see. What else have I listened to? Oh, shoot. I listened to Goth Opera, which I really enjoyed.
I'm hoping I'm going to re-listen to it when they've repressed it and sorted all the digital problems out, because their sound design was shocking and the music was shocking, and screwing up the opening theme as the closing theme and having the weird TARDIS doors opening for the labs in the thing, and having a Time Lord mispronounce Casterbarus.
Well, I'll tell you, they're not going to fix that, but
well, I don't know. I hope they do. But apart from that, a really good release. Apart from the weird final scene with the 2 vampires, it's like,
yeah,
we've got a spaceship. Have we? Where the fuck did that come from? Like, what? That was so weird.
Yeah.
That was so tacked on.
Well, I was kind of curious how they could still be vampires if the main vampire died. And the only thing that I kept on thinking of is, how could a Time Lord become a vampire? Because unless it's like the toxins in the blood, but you'd think that once the blood is, sucked out and the heart stops, regeneration's going to happen.
Unless it's kind of like it was like a half vampire, he was kind of a carrier, asymptomatic type thing, and the Time Lord biology fought the vampirism.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can think of, really. I mean, would have been nice to have Rassilon at the end do the epilogue, I think.
Yes, I agree. I think that would be a lot better. But
that wasn't to be. Which, by the way, apparently that's it. That's the last novel adaptation. The only reason that they did Goth Opera was because I think Scott Hancock wanted to do it, and it was his kind of project. So then they're not going to do any anymore. I think that is the last one, apparently, according to Vortex magazine.
That's
reading.
A shame. I think that's one of their better ranges, because the neat thing about it is they don't really have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already been invented. All they have to do is just modify for audio, and then maybe kind of make sure it makes sense within canon, as these were even though the Missing Adventures is easier to make in canon, because that is what the writers wanted to do, is to focus on canon and continuity
I
during
mean,
the wilderness years.
if we had no other single novels, and we had to choose one more to just say goodbye to the range,
Longbow.
I no, actually, I really want to see Blood Harvest
Oh,
because
interesting.
it ties into dust breeding, and I think is a prequel to that. So
Interesting.
I'd like to see that. I think.
I was gonna ask you because when I saw this news, I felt as though it was probably something that you were the most excited about, and that was the announcement of the continuation of Susan's War. Like, I know you're very into Susan's War.
I mean, we knew that. We knew that it was coming because she went to a convention and she did a convention and said that she was recording and stuff, and that was a couple of years ago. So glad that they are, and feel a little bit cheated that they've like split the box set in two. Like it's 2 stories per box set. Like you could have just done one box set, guys.
Well, I will tell you, it's one of those things where the first, box set, the Family Ties, which features the War Doctor or whatnot, kind of intrigued by, but the one that really has me kind of, I think I need to check this out, is the second one. And I'm trying to stall for time because you'd think that you could just click next on the next month and it would, the website would move to the next month. But that's, my fault for having that expectation of a website working the way that it should be working. But, I can't remember why the second box set was the one that I was more interested in, because I can't see anything right now. Oh,
it's
good.
Called,
it decided to.
It's called not Family Ties.
The Eternity. No, not the Eternity.
No, it's called Grandfather Time.
Yes. Did they move it back? Did they move it out of September? I thought it was August, September.
Well, where is it now then? Search for it in the thing.
So here's the thing. So I'm glad that this came up because I started noticing some oddities regarding the Vortex, the one that just barely came out August 1st, and their Big Finish's current website. I mean, that's almost now just a joke in itself. But I want you to look at this. So August 2024, for the most recent Vortex that came out, 186 shows the Sixth Doctor Adventures, the Trials of a Time Lord box set to come out. The War Doctor Rises, Morbius the Mighty box set. Susan's War, Family Ties. The Death and Life of River Song. Gallifrey, Dark Gallifrey, The War Master Part 2, and Torchwood Endgame. So as I look at August on the actual website, now I have to wait for it to load back 1 month. So who knows? We have War Master, or Dark Gallifrey War Master. Death World is now slotted to come out in August. That wasn't there a second ago when I looked at it. We have Torchwood Endgame.
What number? Yeah. What number is Death World? Is it 8.1 or 8.2?
I think it's 8.2.
Is it? Oh, that's changed then. Because they said initially
Operation never mind. It's 8.1. It's 8.1.
It is. Okay.
And then we have so that one's new. So I feel as though they just barely added that, because before we even started podcasting, I was searching for when Death World was going to come up, and I went all the way to November and there was nothing. So now they have slotted Death World to come out in August sometime.
No, because it was
We have-
initially slotted in July, and then they went, "Oh, sorry,
I
we've
know, but-
production values or production issues." And I guess they've because it was meant to come out. It was meant to come out yesterday. No,
Well, no, but it was supposed to come out in July.
Yeah, it was meant to come out on the 31st, but didn't. So,
but it didn't, and they pushed it back. But like I said, when I was doing the pre-podcast research or whatnot, Death World was nowhere to be found in any of the months from August to November. So they've just barely they must have just barely recently added it to August. So we have the Sixth Doctor Adventures, Trial of a Time Lord. We have the War Doctor Morbius the Mighty, the Death and Life of that or whatnot. But here's where things start getting quite interesting between the two, the Vortex and also what was it? The website is September says the Fourth Doctor Adventures Dominant Species, and that is going to be one that comes out. We have the Eighth Doctor Adventures Stuff of Legends, the studio version. So, and that one's coming out. The Eternity Club, okay. Space 1999, the Armageddon Engine. Okay,
see again.
That one's still coming out.
See again. No news article on that at all on the website. None.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
You have to know. You have to have seen that either been posted on Facebook or Twitter to know that that's even coming out.
Yeah. Well, wait, there's more, because right after that, UFO Shadow Play.
Whoa, what?
According to the Vortex that came out August 1st, 2024, UFO Shadow Play. Don't even bother searching for it. It is not there for pre-order.
No?
Nope.
Huh.
Yeah. So
why is it when I click open search, right, it then freezes the fucking website? I can't
because it's a
Oh, come on. How do you search for stuff? How? Don't tell me I'm going to have to go to the series thing.
For me,
all series.
No, because if you go to the series, it will just give you, because I looked this up, because this is such a weird thing. If you go to the series, it will just give you UFO Destruct Positive and UFO Breaking Point. Those are the only two UFO things it's going to give you. If you search the hourglass at the top of the Big Finish website, it will give you the UFO Destruct Positive, the free excerpt, the Destruct Positive, the whole entirety box set, the UFO Breaking Point box set, and apparently there is a title called UFO somewhere in the Countermeasures, the Hollow King story, and so that comes up. But yes, the most recent Vortex 186 has UFO Shadow Play available to download and be available to purchase in September. Is not there on the Big Finish website.
And the other annoying thing, right, is when I look at the actual link, right, I have to listen to the following. Right, this is even before I can actually listen to the title. 53BF81A B A01738C7F31298C7FBE AC underscore then finally the weird actual title For every single release that I want to look at in a range, I have to listen to a whole bunch of fucking numbers before I can know what the release is. It is just dreadful. It is so infuriating. Ugh.
That'd be so funny. It's like, the routing number to Nick Briggs's bank account, and he accidentally just kind of like accidentally embedded it into the Big Finish website.
Ugh. God, it's such a mess. I hate it. I
Anyway,
genuinely hate it.
let's yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited for the second box set, which I kind of got distracted, and I couldn't find it because it's not available now in the month of September, when it originally was on the old website. It was available. Now it is no longer there. It is no longer there. It is not in October. When is this coming out now? I am so intrigued.
Type it in the search thing. Type in Grandfather Time.
Okay.
It should pull up.
Let's see. Let's see. Susan's War, right?
I'd do it, but I can't search for shit because, well, yeah.
Let's see. So now it has a blank image that says story coming soon, and there is no
When's it coming out? I wasn't right, was I?
March 2025.
It
was slotted to come out 1 month later, and I know this because I did a solo podcast breaking down some of these announcements, and it, Susan's War, box set 2 was coming out in August, and box set 3 was coming out in September.
What is going
my
on?
word.
What are they doing?
I don't know, but the funny thing about it is how we were like making fun of like, all of the accolades that Gallifrey Times and stuff like that would give it a 5 out of 10 or sorry, no, they wouldn't. They'd give it a 10 out of 10 or whatever. All of those things no longer exist. But here's the sad part about it is you don't have any info. Like, here's the only information that you have on these releases. You have, let's see, maybe unless I click read more. Nope. All you have is the general, the quick summary, the 2 stories in it, the cast, which according to, let's see. Oh, this is a mess. Oh my word. This is an absolute mess. So you used to have it easily accessible on the kind of the top side of the release. Now you have to scroll down beyond the pre-order stuff. Then there is a line, and it says there's a summary. So you can click on that, and then below that you have the cast and production crew. And according to and then after that it is the production code and credit. But oh my word, this is a mess.
Whoever designed this website needs honestly taking out back and shooting. Like, seriously. Yeah. Actually, no. I wouldn't waste a bullet because the money for the bullet would be too expensive. It's not worth that even. Just throw a rock at them. This rock is free.
Yeah, you know what? Just stone them like they used to, and yeah.
Just tie them up and just stove their head in. Like, at least you can, release some anger. Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, so I haven't talked about it. I was going to, but you're here. What are your thoughts? The Once and Future final act, the Coda, the art for the standard cover. Yeah. I mean, we have the Ruth Doctor, we have the War Doctor, Benny. Who's that other person right there? And then we have a what is that? A Vord.
That's going to be intriguing.
What are your thoughts about this?
I mean,
because I know
cool
we
concept. I
yeah.
mean, cool concepts, but it's going to be undone. It's going to be unwritten. We know it's going to be unwritten.
Oh yeah, they're totally going. Well, I mean, even when we first started doing the Once and Future, we already knew that this was probably going to be, a return to Telos situation, as long as it's going to be fun, because all of the celebratory stuff
Yeah, but it
have
wasn't
kind
fun.
of been a return to Telos. What?
Yeah, but it wasn't fun.
Well, I mean, there's that too.
There was only a couple of releases in that whole series that were fun, and they were Christ, I can't even remember the titles. The Scaro one with Davros.
Yeah, the Seventh Doctor one was great.
That one,
and I liked the first one.
The Missy and the 10th Doctor one with the Paternoster gang.
Oh yeah,
that was the only two that were genuinely actually enjoyable. I mean, the first one was okay, averagey, but not bad. But what was the point? Just don't do multimedia crossover, guys, because you just can't do it. You've not even. Are you even aware that we're getting a Zygon series?
Oh my word! Yeah, I am. I do want to talk about that in a second. Let's see. Let's go release month. Never mind. That was just too hard.
Life's too hard.
It is. So, can I share with you the order in which the Big Finish website has slotted the Once and Future?
Okay.
So, if you were to just purchase these solo, or try to just buy them in an order, obviously the first thing that you have is you have the Once and Future. The only way that you can buy them is in a box set is the special edition box set. All the other standard release ones you have to buy individually. So now you, which I think you had to, but you can't now. There is no standard release box set. The only one that you can
Bundle.
get is the special edition bundle, which I guess makes sense. But here is the order
in
Brett, which
they're getting rid of bundles. Don't forget.
I know. Yeah. Here's the order in which they have four, and I'm just trying to give it a once over to see if they did it in alphabetical order, and they didn't. So the first one that you can buy is the Fourth Doctor Tom Baker Past Lives. Makes sense. That was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one. The Ninth Doctor, Time Lord Immemorial, is the next one that they have. Mm-hmm. Followed by, which, if memory serves me right, I believe that's number 7. The next one...
Six.
Is,
6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, you're right. The next one is the Martian Invasion of Planetoid 50, which is the Fifth Doctor Missy one, which is 5. The next one is number 7, which is the Once and Future, the Union. Then you have next the Artist at the End of Time, which is, if we all remember correctly, number 2. Then we have the Doctor Who Once and Future 2's Company with the Jackie Tyler and Lady Christina, which is, I thought that was number 4, because I thought number 3 was A Genius for War.
No, 4 was Genius for War.
4 was A Genius for War?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was because Two's Company was just such a forgettable release. That's why.
Nope. According to it is Past Lives 1, Artist at the End of Time 2, Genius for War 3, Two's Company 4, Martian Invasion of Planetoid 55, Time Lord Memorial
6, Union 7,
6, and then the next one 7.
And then the
What?
Coda, which is final act, which is 8.
What? Maybe I don't.
I don't get this.
This is my fault for looking at the Big Finish website, because here's what they have. As I was reading it, so Time Lord Immemorial is 6. Okay, then they have as 7 on their website. Once in Future Coda, the final act, as 7.
But it's not. It's
in
8.
the release. I know, but that's what they have right now is 7.
What the
And
fuck
then
are you
it is
doing?
Doctor Who World Wide Web, which is not even a Once in Future. That is the
That doesn't
8th
8th
Doctor
release. What the
My
act?
gosh.
Oh my god, this website is so bad. What the what? Wow.
Oh.
I just no words.
Oh my word.
A
Whenever
3-year-old
you
could design this better. Literally.
Whenever I think that they can't make more of a mistake, I uncover yet again another mistake.
Maybe you should just screenshot this and just post it into the inquiries thing and go, inquiry, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what is this meant to be? Because this is not a coherent website.
Well, and a quick question to you, because, you had no idea about and I didn't know anything about the UFO one that is not available pre-order, but it's certainly on the Vortex magazine. I never heard a lick, and I don't stalk the Big Finish website or whatnot, or the old one, but I had never heard of this special December 4th Doctor adventure, The Curse of Time release.
I did. It was there. Again, so I keep saying to you, you should get. Again, I keep saying you should get Who News, because Who News is a really good app, and it generally updates me on releases of stuff. Pretty significantly, and it's worth paying for. Because it goes towards obviously the app itself, and they post everything. They post comic updates. All the merchandise stuff comes out. So if there's anything that you want to look out for, Who News is a really good resource, because it posts comics, Big Finish stuff, figurines, character options stuff, books, everything. Like, it's one of the most complete archives I've come across for Doctor Who news and stuff. So, well worth paying for the app, I think, because you'll get instant notifications rather than having to wait a few hours for it to refresh and update you. So you'll get more reliable notifications. So
Okay.
definitely worth buying and subscribing to.
Okay.
And cheaper if you do it annually rather than monthly. You pay like
Yeah.
$25 a year or something, which is not bad.
What are your thoughts about the new Benny series that is coming out?
I'm glad that they're continuing it, because I like Benny. I'm glad that Lisa Barman feels that she's able to come back and do more stuff. I want them to do more audiobooks though in the Benny stuff, because I kind of want to fill in the gaps. They've still not done bloody A Life During Wartime, which is annoying. Be interesting to see how they get around the sad issue that David Warner's no longer with Benny. I mean, I hope they obviously reference it eventually. I wouldn't be surprised, if Benny might get picked up by the alternative First Doctor.
That'd be
David
interesting
Bradley.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're now becoming, Unbound.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she gets picked up by him. But I guess we'll see. But no,
All
glad
right.
that they just didn't
Yeah.
end it where they ended it. Because
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I just want to. So while you were doing that, I was listening and also doing something. So this is quite interesting. I was just curious what the discount would be for the new website. So currently, I can pick up the War Doctor Rises box set 1 and box set 2. They currently have a bundle still available. So somebody must have dropped the ball and allowed that to still exist for $45.91. Each release currently is about $24.22 for download. I put both of them in my cart and I get a 10% off, which actually makes it cheaper than the recommended bundle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. By how much?
$2, but still,
okay.
I'll take that.
Fair enough. Now add the physical release to your cart and see how much they're going to charge you for shipping.
All right. Well, I wonder if I'm going to get a pre-order charge for this too.
Because, yeah. Fucking pre-order charge. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Let's see.
Pre-order charge. Unbelievable.
Oh, I can only do the bundle set as a digital. It won't let me buy the bundles. Oh, I bet you. Because when I went to just check to see how much the 13th Doctor bundle was, like, I think all of them together for each month came to about like $96. And then the shipping, because it would be shipped once a month or whatever, came to a total of like, I want to say $72.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. That's ridiculous, man. Screw that for a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be intrigued. Add the entire 2026 or 2025 bundle, 15, the 15 release bundle thing for the classic Doctors to the cart and see what the shipping is on that now.
All right, you're gonna have to give me like 7 months for
Okay.
because I think like the website is now like officially struggling because I'm asking it to respond in a timely manner.
Yeah, this is just
All right.
so bad.
So did you say okay? Let's see. Save with bundle. The only way that I can buy a bundle is through download only. They are not
Wow.
allowing me to do a
That is
bundle with physical
nuts.
media.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the physical media option then? If you added all 15 releases to that, what would the shipping be for that then?
I'd have to physically add each individual one. Currently, so I remember initially because I did check it out just to see what it was. So just a digital download is $350, which obviously there's 15 box sets. I believe, if memory serves me right, when I did the physical download or the physical copy of each one, it came to about like $490 something. But that was obviously just that. I believe it tacked on $170 for shipping.
No way.
Yeah. Because I was like looking at it like, you got to be kidding me. That's like, I'm like $300 away from $1,000.
That's just insane.
What Did you see the Doctor Who Christmas special trailer?
No.
Hmm.
No, I haven't. No.
I thought it doesn't give me any information, but it's too quirky and the way it's shot and the lack of, I will tell you, one sound effect really makes me annoyed. Maybe it's just a teaser trailer and it came out for San Diego Comic-Con, whatever. But you have what is it? What you have is something happening in history or something like that, and the 15th Doctor walks through and is like, "Hey, did any of you buy a pumpkin latte?" And they're like, "No." And so the 15th Doctor literally walks out the door and then comes in another door, no TARDIS takeoff or landing, walks into another door where there's some other people in a different time or space setting. And he just says, "Did any of you, order a pumpkin latte?" And it goes on way too long until they meet this one actress who is apparently in Bridgerton. And
no, she's in
I guess
Derry
well, somebody
believe.
said that she was in Bridgerton, so
No, Derry Girls.
okay.
Nicola
Anyway.
Kaufman, is it? I think.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know why it if they were just trying to make a quick teaser, okay. But not having the TARDIS takeoff sounding effect makes it seem like the 15th Doctor can just walk through one door and maybe he has a vortex manipulator, but again, no sound effect. He's just walking in one door.
Maybe there's like, I don't know, there's doors to different time periods, maybe. For whatever reason.
Maybe.
Wherever it is.
It's,
I mean,
yeah.
I see anything I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the Zygon invasion, Zygon, whatever it's called, 100-year century war thing, plan, plot?
I actually never looked at it because I was trying to check it out while the website was completely down, hoping that, because that's when I found out it was available in existence is when the website was down. So we have the Zygon Century infiltration. Let's see. So the synopsis is the Zygons have come to claim Earth. At this time, they're playing the long game for the blah, blah, blah. Okay, the Zygon Century has begun. So you have 1901, The Unknowing Mirror by Jonathan Barnes. He has not done stuff for Big Finish for quite some time. That's kind of interesting to see him come back. The Miracle of Pedander Cove by Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle. I've yet to be wowed by that writing team. And then 1957, Double Agent by Trevor Baxendale. He hasn't done much lately either. It'll be interesting because I think I like that there is no, and let me just see what the cast, let's see. So far, we have no idea who is in the cast at this time. There is no Doctor featured on the cover, but I could see them also altering the cover in the future too. I think that, well, because here's the cover. So at the very bottom of the cover, it says Zygon Century. And then center in the cover, you have the Zygons as seen in the Terror of the Zygon episode. So they're not doing new series Zygon. So at least they're not going to be zapping people and turning them into still wool and stuff like that. And then around them, there is like these, red circles that are kind of going around them. And then there's like kind of like blackness kind of around the main figure of the Zygon, which to me means that there's more cast and crew to be announced. They just don't want to reveal it yet because they could see that, in the near future, that black blank spot will have, I don't know, maybe unit. Well, actually, no, it won't be unit because it's going to be 1901 all the way to 1957.
Well, it might have
So-
the Paternoster gang, and maybe even Diego potentially in 1901.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
57, you might get Norton Folgate.
Oh, geez, no.
What were the other time periods?
35.
Anything else?
No, it's 1901, 1935, 1957.
Don't know. Maybe the latest Torchwood one, Art Decadence, the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Butler and the him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
But
Sorry. It'll be interesting. I'll be interested to find out more information as more information is released.
Speaking of, did
yeah.
you also know that there's going to
Mhm.
be another Time War, Dave Doctor Time War box set?
Oh, that's cool.
One of potentially however many. It's called Reflections,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
All right. I saw this in Vortex. Normally, I don't actually read Vortex because most of the announcements that I get are on the Big Finish website, but because, that is just,
Impossible
a
to
worse
do now.
mess than a public toilet room currently right now. I saw this, and this is from Big Finish's Vortex mail. And there's a couple of things that I find absolutely hysterical in this. So here is the first letter. It says, I attended Big Finish Day recently, and I would like to thank every single Big Finish employee who attended as stewards to the crowd of fans. They were courteous, polite, easy to talk to, and there was never a harsh word spoken all day. They gave updates on queue times and made sure that everything went smoothly. Photos, signings, the lot. Thank you for running such an amazing event. The lovely India Fisher attended the event, and she signed some covers for me, including the Lamentation Cipher from Charlotte Pollard Series 1. Series 2 was released some years ago now and left our Edwardian adventure.
I know where this is going.
And left our Edwardian adventurers in somewhat of a pickle with her Viron adversaries. Is there any chance of a third series wrapping this up? Regards. Nick, I'm going to assume that this being Nick Briggs, says, glad you enjoyed the event. It is my solemn intention to sort out the third series of Charlotte Pollard. The first drafts of the script were written several years ago.
What?
But other more urgent releases rather got in the way of preventing me from carrying out the script editing duties. But it's definitely on my very long to-do list.
Wow. All right. Charlotte Pollard Series 3, 2035.
Actually, 2035, they're going to, update the brand new Big Finish website. It'll be slotted to release September 2nd. However, the update for the website will happen August 31st, and then they'll have to push back the release of Charlotte Pollard Series 3 for, about 6 months or so.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was funny.
No. Do you know what? No, do you know what I say? What is actually going to happen is
What?
Like, it's going to take so long that unfortunately Nick Briggs is going to pass on. So then they're going to have to dig him up, Brain of Morbius him, right, and then revive him. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew I had to do something else." I'll get around to it eventually.
Have
Like-
you seen the new Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out about a year or so ago?
The 3 questions.
The 3 questions.
You should put that in post-production. Just that clip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me write it.
man.
You know what? I will, when this stupid I'm gonna do something. I have been meaning to do like additional stuff. I am going to do a 3 questions Nick Briggs trailer for Charlotte Pollard.
Did you see the final post-credit scene? It's just that one skeleton who didn't like get killed, and he's stuck there. He's going,
Yes.
Anyone there? Like, help.
For Charlotte Pollard series 3. All right. That means I'm going to have to probably listen to the Big Finish website or the podcast, which I am actually eagerly anticipating the next Big Finish podcast release to listen to either all the excuses or just sweeping everything under the rug with like
website release. Yeah. That's why they went on holiday. Summer special. That's why the summer special's out. Basically because they knew this was coming. So they fucked off on holiday.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Like, yeah. That's why.
All right. So then there's this one. So here's another one that I think is quite funny. And I will tell you, I call liar, liar, your pants is on fire, Nick Briggs, but that's just what I'm calling. It says, I've almost finished the 8th Doctor Adventures. Absolutely love Paradox of the Daleks. I agree. I think that was probably one of the better ones of the new series.
Mm-hmm.
A great change after several years of sprawling box sets, which I also enjoyed. I like that he... I like how this person danced around not trashing Unstranded.
Oh my god!
Because I absolutely love
Stranded was
if
something
you look,
else.
Yeah, because if you look at what he said, because I know he wanted his question to be answered, and if he dumped Unstranded, it wouldn't have been.
It would have been totally ignored.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but I love how he danced around it. Absolutely love Paradox of the Daleks. A great change after several real years of sprawling adventures, which means that we had 4 years of Stranded.
I mean, sprawling.
And then
I mean, kind of sounds similar to the word boring, right? So, I mean, fair point.
So he continues and says, I'm in 2 minds about the ending of Stranded 4, though. On one hand, Liv gets to live Liv gets the happy ending she deserves. But as a fan of the 8th Liv and Helen team, the problem is that Tanya has done a Yoko and brought the dream team to an end, with further adventures between them now being historical rather than current. Can we expect post-Liv 8th and Helen adventures going on forward? I see that Hattie Morahan is playing as yet an unnamed part in the 8th's Time War set later to come out this year, but presume this won't be her current condition or continuation. I sense something timey-wimey afoot. So Nick Briggs replies and says, yes, something timey-wimey is definitely going on. Frustratingly, let me just scroll up. Can't reveal our future plans here, but it's going to be exciting. Totally dancing around the whole Liv, Helen, 8th Doctor, and Tanya situation. Because I
Hmm.
also love that he basically called Tanya Yoko, basically breaking up the team.
Mm.
I love that kind of dig right there.
Yeah. Crazy. The thing is, I kind of don't want Helen to die, especially in the Time War, because I really like Helen as a character.
Yeah.
So
here's a question for you. Or actually not a question for you, but something that you might find interesting. It says, so this is a new one. I'm very new into Big Finish and have become really invested in Evelyn and the Forge storyline. Unfortunately, I'm struggling to find a physical copy of Project Valhalla before I move on to later audiobooks. Will we ever get a Project Valhalla in PDF or ebook format? I didn't even know. I'd never heard of Project Valhalla.
I have, yeah. It was released. Yeah, it was another Forge print, book that they did.
So Nick said, sadly, there are no current plans for that, but we really should do something about that.
You should. Do you know what I want to see? And I emailed Big Finish in with this because I discovered that Nigel Planer has written 2 more Jeremiah Bourne books, right?
Really?
So, yes, I want them to do them in audio. And the Mervyn Stone mysteries, like, where were these? These were promised years ago. They've still not materialized in audio.
I agree. I think that I'm not sure, but because has Nev Fountain said anything about the Mervyn Stone stuff? Or
Well, he said that was that they were coming, that he was going to do, that they would, watch this space. They're on the cards, kind of thing. And then nothing since. So,
well, I guess we'll have to watch that space.
Well, whenever that'll be, whenever the website finally gets into a usable, watchable state. But until now, it's like a geriatric Chihuahua with diarrhea. So,
I hope to never meet one of those because that sounds horrifying, Liam. That absolutely, that sounds horrifying.
Just wanted to put across the experience of the Big Finish website in a as visceral sense as possible. So,
Well, you have done a fantastic job because now whenever I look at the Big Finish website, I'm going to see like some sort of shaking Chihuahua that is like whining all the time. Well, I was going to say whining all the time because it probably has, arthritis, but Chihuahuas whine all the time and then just being covered in crap.
There you go. You should you should find a thumbnail and have that as the thumbnail for the podcast.
I'm going to do this in real time. I'm going to go to, I've become a real big fan of Microsoft's Copilot. So
What?
I am
Microsoft's
going to
Copilot?
go
What the hell's
to, it's their AI.
Oh, right.
Like ChatGPT, unless you subscribe to ChatGPT, monthly
Pro
or yearly plan or whatnot,
yeah.
all you can do is just general, tech stuff. But if you subscribe to it, you can do audio or visual stuff. So I'm going to say, create a thumbnail of the TARDIS with a geriatric
Chihuahua.
Let's see, Chihuahua
with diarrhea. I don't know.
With diarrhea.
That's got an H in, by the way.
All right, let's see. All right. So it's thinking. Oh, I need to sign in order for it to make that. So let me. All right. So I'll have to retype that whole thing in. All right. create a thumbnail for with the TARDIS. And do I want to do a TARDIS console room or just the TARDIS?
Just the TARDIS. It would be easier, right?
With the TARDIS and a geriatric Chihuahua with diarrhea.
Jeez.
All right, let's see.
The things we put
All
AI
right,
through.
let's see. I know.
And this is why it's going to.
This is why AI is going to be taking over the world.
Yeah. This is why it's going to rebel. You're going to mentally scar AI.
Yeah, AI is going to be like, you know what? Everything was fine until I, had to create a TARDIS with a Chihuahua with diarrhea next to it. Oh my god!
Has it done it?
Oh, it didn't really do a good job, but it created 4 images.
Oh wow!
I clicked on one of them, and it's struck. Let's see.
You might have better. You might have better luck than Google, actually.
So, probably, even though Google's AI has been like very racist.
Is it? Oh.
So the first one is there's a TARDIS in the background, and there's a Chihuahua. There's a geriatric Chihuahua human sipping a cup of tea or coffee. The second one is there's a TARDIS in the background, and there is a legit Chihuahua being handed a small cup of coffee or cocoa with a cinnamon stick inside it. And then there's another one that just epically failed. And then there is one that takes place. It looks like, downtown London, or, the landscape of London with the TARDIS in the background with a moon over high and a person that has a Chihuahua head and human hands getting ready to take a sip of a hot tea, chocolate, coffee. I don't know. I'll have to.
I don't know how
they.
I don't know how the hell they get confused. How you can mix up tea and coffee with the word diarrhea? Like, come on, guys, this isn't X-Lax.
I will definitely have to put this image on the podcast and also for the YouTube channel. So, because this is absolutely hysterical.
Oh dear.
It totally did not do what it was supposed to do, but I appreciate all of what it did.
You know what they say? A for effort, F for fucking failure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. All right, well, I guess with that, I guess we will conclude this podcast for now. Just what would you like to do? Because I will have time to listen to Big Finish audios. I'm not sure if I think we're so far behind. I think we might not want to do a month by Big Finish review unless we want to get caught up. Or is there anything that you would like to review in the near future so that I can start listening to those? And you have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is Alhambra Podcast. Thank you.